What's going on, guys? It's your boy Noody, and today we are here picking the winners of MRGA Season 4 at last. Respectfully, I think a lot of you can understand why it took so long to pick the winners for this season. There were so many good entries this season, and honestly, I can easily say this was the most stacked season we've ever had, and it was the most difficult to pick winners. Our gold tally for this season was over 12,000 gold, which is a pretty solid result. And for the first time, we have category winners, and then of course our main winners of the season. So I'm really excited to get through this. I'm going to breeze through it, honestly. We've got so much to get through. We've got all the categories and then, the main winners as well. And I don't want to make this a yap session. So let's try and move through this really quickly. First of all, I'm going to go through the categorical winners. By the way, these players are splitting 6,000 gems. So, I'm going to have to figure out how it all works. Guys, I just want to add as well that the gems this season, much like last season, were all provided by our homeboy, Kiba. Go check out Kiba's YouTube channel. Go check out his Twitch. He is a great content creator and he's honestly such a great pillar in this community. Shout out to my boy. Love you forever. But we've got 6,000 gems getting split between best clip, funniest entry, most innovative build, bounty hunter award, and the best edit is one that I've actually added towards the end there. I've thought, it's definitely worth adding. Let's not waste any time. Let's get straight into it. Let's start with the best clip of the season, the best singular clip of the season. This one was a tough one, but I ended up going with Caspi. Caspi has gotten the best single clip of the season, and it was that one clip near Umberglade on Eternal Battlegrounds where he's on his Power Mirage and he ends up doing about a 1v7 off of the top of my head, where each time he, finishes a player and is about to die, is like 500 HP, more players jump in, and somehow he just kept surviving and kept killing them one by one. That whole clip had me on the edge of my seat. Go back and watch the reaction. I said it then. That was one of the wildest clips I have seen in this entire competition. It was really difficult to pick this. I also had Chief's opening clip from his montage was also extremely good. I think that was also about a 1v7. He got about 7 kills or so. But the only thing that differentiated the two, I figured, was that Caspi's was like a prolonged, in-depth, fully fleshed out clip where he's getting low. He's got to make really good plays. As opposed to Chief's was an insane burst, especially considering your skill clicking. But it was an insane burst, and when you weigh them up, you gotta sort of give more merit towards Caspi's. But Chief done amazing as well, and he should be proud of himself. All right, funniest entry. The funniest entry award this season goes to Icon. There actually wasn't that many comedic purposed montages this season, but there was some that had a few different little funny tidbits put in there, but I think overall Icon's montage was the funniest. They had the part where there was someone getting stream sniped. I found that pretty funny, and going back and forth between the clips. They had the part about the PvE players coming into World vs World, then going back out to Divinity's Reach. They had RYS doing his 1 HP fucking ridiculous comeback in that duel. Overall, it was a good edit, and I think they definitely took the funniest entry. Let's move on to most innovative build. This was between two players once again. I ended up going with Zolma's Berserker build. It was actually a really, really entertaining build to watch. It was like a one-shot Berserker. Haven't seen anything like it. What was it? Sword, staff off the top of my head. And it was just really, really innovative. The runner-up for this award would have been, of course, Simeon, who had the Staff Deadeye build, which was also really busted and he done really good with. I just think when comparing the two, the Berserker build was way more wacky and out of character, I guess, for that class. And then we go on to the Bounty Hunter Award. I think this one's a bit of a no-brainer, although a lot of the montages had bits put in there with, great bounties, especially like Hardy the Edgemaster and Rekju. They got clipped so mmany times. Lorena got clipped like 3 times. But there was only one that was fully focused on being a bounty hunter episode, and that was It's So Balanced. He got so many people in the NA community that I know. He got myself, of course, for the finale, and it was overall, a little entire montage that was made to win this award. And then once again, we've got a bit of a no-brainer. The Best Edit Award. There was only one person who could even contest for this, and it was Shy. Shy edited 2 videos this season, and both of those were arguably the best edits in the competition. And one was Rec Juice, and then the other one was, of course, his own entry into the competition. So whichever way you want to split it, honestly, he wins it. So Shy gets the best edit of this competition. All right, now we get into the winners. So like I said, the prize pool was 12,050 gold for the season. Only the top 4 players will be taking a slice of that. However, I figured just to add a bit more interest and, you know, give some people their props, I have added top 8. But 5th to 8th do not win any prizes, unfortunately. But I just really want to give these players their props. First of all, 8th place, it goes to Lorena with that amazing multi-class montage. Really entertaining, had some funny parts in there as well. And we saw a nice range of different classes. Particularly the Revenant gameplay was really good. But of course, you know, we had a bit of Spellbreaker in there. We had a bit of Mesmer in there, and we even had a thief clip there. Lorena taking out Yama. So all in all, it was a really good montage. 7th place, I've given to Asan. In a very, very similar category. You can honestly split the two. Both had incredible multi-class clips. So Asan had such a wide range. He had, you know, Willbender, he had some NG in there, he had some Untamed. It was a nice mix of different classes, and Asan honestly delivered really, really well. I think there's a chance he may have placed even higher. You know, if people put him higher on this list, I don't blame them. First of all, it's just so competitive. But the only thing that I think didn't allow him to go further was there was a lot of like filler clips, if that makes sense. But honestly, all in all, the whole montage was great. 6th place goes to the Thief main Hyde. Hyde, honestly, man, that montage was really good. I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of people think you placed higher. Hyde played DP Daredevil after the nerfs, you know, when it's down in the dumps, and he done it in style, man. Oh my god, the clips were so good. The 1v1s were so good, especially the ones where he had like no armor or no trinkets, and, you know, he was doing the whole equipment flex. Hyde done really good, man, and honestly, it's so hard to split different plays on this out of the winners. But Hyde, man, fuck, that was such a good montage. You had great clips, great duels, great outnumbered fights, and to do it after the nerfs, you proved a point, and, you know, consider yourself a winner, man. And now we get into the top 5. So the final person who didn't win a prize, it actually goes to Silver. And Silver brought such an incredible montage with his Untamed. He is such a good Ranger player, and honestly, yeah, wow. It was really hard not even putting him top 4, honestly. The only downfall was the fact that there was pretty much no editing on his montage. The clips were incredible, man. The mechanical plays were crazy. Just the decision making, and there was just, you know, there was the thing with Silver's montage, there was such a good mix between outnumbered fights, where he's just, you know, doing like big damage and, you know, putting people away real quick, and then the fully fleshed out clips where, you know, he's fighting multiple people, and it comes down to good kiting, good decision making, which allowed him to, you know, come out on top in those clips. Not only that, he had a nice mix up of different types of Untamed builds, where he had like longbow, and then he had spear, and then he had greatsword, and then there was some with sword warhorn, there was some with mace. Like, honestly, it was just a really good mix, well put together montage. If only there was a bit more editing, it would have been great. But he did kill my guilty llama, so plus points for that. All right, let's get into the hardest part, the top 4 people who are taking the gold prize pool. At 4th place, and I have a feeling this one's going to be a bit of a controversial one. 4th place winner is Icon through Omni Elite's channel. Wow, what a montage. First of all, let me just give them their props. Absolute incredible montage. Great mix of funny clips, great mix of high skill plays, great mix of ridiculous outnumbered clips. Let's just put that out there. The best group one-shots montage in the whole thing, easily. We were seeing entire groups just get melted within seconds. Disgusting builds, first of all. I said it in the video. Disgusting builds just purely on showcase for what they are. There was good bounties. The music was actually really good. Honestly, probably my favorite of the whole competition. They had great music, which complemented the clips and the edit really well. Like I said, there was funny parts, which were great. They've won the Funny Awards title. And there was impressive dual clips. There was really good dual clips. I will give them that. A lot of people had them as favorites going into this competition, and let me just explain the reasons why, unfortunately, couldn't give them a higher placing. So first and foremost, the clips were too short, which made them somewhat repetitive. And let me sort of explain a little bit. A lot of the clips were sort of like cut before really we saw the end of the fight. And what I mean by that is not like, you know, they're all in downstate and it's done. It's sort of like 5 out of 6 players, you know, got one-shotted and we don't see the end of the clip. Or, you know, jumping into a huge group and like 6 people go down, but then there's still like another 5-6 people around. It is still very impressive, of course, to be able to coordinate such a nice one-shot to down so many people. I'm not trying to take any credit away from Icon. Fully fleshed out, in-depth clips where you can see the end of the fight, because getting people down is one thing, but being able to finish the fight is really the hard part, right? Because anyone can sort of jump in to a huge one-shot and cut a clip short. And not to say, you know, Icon weren't finishing off their clips, but it just would have been really good to see the end of the clips. I hope that makes sense and, you know, doesn't come across the wrong way. And the only other little thing I could sort of, I guess, be a little picky on was that some clips were from older patches, which some of the comments picked out. It's not a huge deal, but, you know, it's still, you know, when you're talking about that top 3, that wasn't so much of a problem, and you know we have to be picky picking the winners. I will say though, shout out to Omni, because he was like the main star of that, and some of his clips were just nutty, and I'm not trying to take away any credit there. Grotto also put together a great edit. Like I said, the good clips mixed with the good music. It was a wonderful montage. And honestly, I can see why people would expect them to win the whole thing. One last thing I will say about Icon as well, they were the first group to actually put together a montage. So look, big props to them for being groundbreakers in that, you know, in that space, I suppose. I've got nothing but respect for them. Third place of MRGA Season 4. This one hurts to say, but it's my homeboy Rectu. Rectu, the previous season winner. He put on an amazing performance this season as well. Look, there's a lot to flesh out here, but let's talk about some of the little notes I've got here. So first and foremost, I say it time and time again. I said it in MRG, I said it in MFC. Rectu plays extremely clean and extremely calculated. Nothing really goes to waste. Time and time again, he has been able to show that he is such an incredible wheelbender player. Honestly, it's really tough, you know, putting him in third place, because the whole montage was so good. You know, we've got the edit by Shy, and then you take into account the fact that he re-recorded all his clips during the season while repping the tag. That is such a respectable point, and you know, to give him any less than top 3, it's just not fair. Honestly, he re-recorded his whole montage, even though he had clips pre-patch. He re-recorded to be, you know, honorable, I guess, because his class got nerfed, and he was like, no, I'm not going to put clips that are misleading and, you know, broken clips. He's going to redo it. What a respectable thing to do, honestly. Top 3 is well deserved here. Not to mention, you know, the multiple weapon sets, as discussed. He actually brought in different classes as well. So he had a Reaper clip, and he had the awesome Spellbreaker clip as well. That was definitely in the consideration for best clip of the montage as well. And all in all, he just, you know, had a good combination of good kiting, good skill usage, great outnumbered clips, awesome edit. Honestly, top 3. My boy Rectu, definitely something to be proud of. To place first last season and then, you know, top 3 this season just shows that he is still out here destroying shit. But unfortunately, this season is just so stacked. It's really hard to pick winners, honestly. I will say though, Rectu was the only player that I wasn't able to really fault the montage. I wasn't able to really think of any weak points. It was just that, you know, maybe it's the build, I'm not sure. Maybe it's the fact that he had to re-record the clips. The clips just felt a tiny bit short. I guess maybe just because of the power creep of the game as well, of how broken everything else is. But anyway, let's move on to second place. Whew. This player had such an incredible montage. RYS from Icon. What an absolute incredible montage RYS was able to put together. A multi-class montage where honestly, if I'm off the top of my head, I'm pretty sure he played every single class in the game to an elite level as well. RYS also had really good music. He had good bounties in the clips. He was arguably the best mechanical player of this season. Just straight up mechanics, great gameplay. We saw some like insane duels where he just pulls off insane plays where he's just like, you know, able to read his opponents like a book. And then of course he had the clips where he had like no gear or like low level gear, just really scuffed clips like that. Real talk, RYS honestly really impressed me, and he really surprised me as well. That was my first time being put onto his content, and you know, I can definitely vouch for that guy. Now, a lot of people also thought RYS was dropping in to take it all, and let me explain the only weak point I could pick out for RYS's montage. And honestly, this has been really picky once again, but there was at least one clip in there that was an older balance patch. And, you know, there was a lot of dual clips in there, which is not a bad thing. Armistice Bastion duels are absolutely awesome to watch, and they display really high skill level. But, you know, sometimes the organic clips are also really good. But hey, man, fucking RYS, what a montage, what a performance. Really was a dark horse this season. Just came out of nowhere. Not only was his montage awesome, but his clips in the icon montage were crazy as well. So man, he has put so much contribution to this season to, you know, give the viewers such a great experience. Well done to RYS. I think that only leaves one person, and I'm sure some of you by now haven't seen his name and have figured out who's won. Guys, your Make Roaming Great Again Season 4 winner is Caspi. Oh my gosh. This is insane, man. This is insane. Let me start by saying Caspi is such a valuable player within this whole competition because he has participated in, if I'm not mistaken, every single season. He's placed in the top 4, I believe, at least 2 times, possibly 3 times. Wow. Yeah, Caspi just absolutely blew us away, especially with the Mesmer clips in the second part of his montage. There is a reason he won the single best clip of the whole competition, but honestly, you could give him that title for so many of the different clips that were in this montage. Let's just start by talking about the 3 no HUD 1v3s. 3 separate times, Caspi was able to shut off his screen, so you know what I mean. Like, he hid all his skills, his HP, his boons, only reading animations in the game, not able to see anything other than that, and he was able to 1v3 3 separate times, all 3 different players, no, you know, like stack ups of the same players. Man, just that fact alone, how can you not give this guy the win this season? That's just the start though. We had a really innovative NG build as well, which was like a meme build, which was like, you know, the first part of the montage. And, you know, he had like a lot of funny clips in there because, you know, it was sort of like a meme build. But yeah, like I mentioned, he had the best clip of the season. He had a 1v7 where players kept flowing in, no cuts, just straight up like, I remember, I think after the first 2 or 3 players died, he was 500 HP when I think maybe it was a Willbender or someone else jumped in, and he manages to survive, kill him. As he's low again, more people jump in, and he just keeps killing them one after another. And it's not like they're coming in one at a time. No, they're coming in like 2 at a time. And wow, I love clips like that. There is nothing better than the clips that go down to the wire where, you know, you're fighting outnumbered. You're low on cooldowns, and every single cooldown matters, and every single decision, every single skill you click has to be calculated. Caspi pulled it off so well. He's a 2-time monthly AT winner for a reason, guys. Not only that, there was great kiting. Once again, really good kiting, which we've seen in the past from Caspi. You know, the decision making of when to kite, when to go aggressive is always impeccable. He has done it time and time again, and you know, really demonstrated it this season as well. He 1v3'd someone who was a bounty on another person's montage. The music was great. Even though the editing was so bare bones, it was still undoubtedly the winner this season. You could argue, okay, that Mirage build is broken. Let's pause for a second. Honestly, what build wasn't broken this season? We saw Spear Mesmer time and time again show up this season for a reason. It is extremely strong. However, I do have to say, as someone who does dabble with this Spear Mirage build from time to time, in all honesty, I can't do what Caspi did. I'm just being completely honest. Doing what he did with that build, although it looks easy because the numbers are so high, it's really not. It's really not. It does take good discipline, good knowledge of the class, and wow, fucking Caspi, man. Taken home, let's see how much gold. 6,025 gold. Well done, Caspi, as well as the gems as well from winning the best clip. Honestly, that's such a great result, and it's so good to see someone who's participated time and time again in this competition. You know, he hasn't placed first previously, but he hasn't let that slow him down. He's gone in, participated, and from memory, I think he said he got all his clips within like a week, which surely has to be bullshit, but if it's true, it's crazy. It's crazy. That is a wrap of MRGA Season 4, and honestly, I just want to thank all the people who participated. Even if you didn't place as high as you wanted to, honestly, thank you so much for taking part, because this is not just, you know, obviously for me to enjoy, this is for the entire community. And so many players always come up to me, tell me how, you know, they love this competition. You see it in the comments. You know, it's brought people into the game who have then participated in the competition. It's such a great initiative, and I love running this competition, especially when we have a season this good. Easily best season of all time, and shout out to Caspi for winning it. I'm going to leave a link to the spreadsheet in the description to see all of MRGA Season 4's participants. Check them all out, support them all, and guys, leave a comment to show your appreciation for this competition. Let me know who you thought won, whether you agree, whether you disagree. Let's be respectful to one another, and guys, however you put your top 4 players this season, I can understand it, because they were all so fucking good, honestly. Shout out to the whole community. It is your boy Noody, and I'm out. Peace.